Hi, everybody. I'm Hayley.
And I'm Kayli.
And this week we're reviewing Don't Breathe 2.
Woo woo. Or wah wah. Actually, that's the more accurate sound. Wah wah wah. There goes another, $15 down the fucking drain.
Well, on Tuesdays, it's only $6 a ticket.
I should have gone on Tuesday. But yes, today we are talking about Don't Breathe 2, and I have a lot of feelings. I have a lot of pent-up aggression too, because I went to the movies with my dad and my boyfriend, and that day my dad was not feeling well. He usually likes to talk about movies afterwards, so that's why I bring him along, and plus he invited himself, but that's okay. And Tristan doesn't really like to talk about movies, so... But that day, my dad wasn't feeling well, and afterwards, I was trying to talk about this damn movie, and he was like, I didn't think it was that bad. I was like, damn, Dad, come on. I need you, bro.
Let him have his opinion.
I know. And then I was like, I got kind of pissed off, and he was like, are you mad because I'm not talking? I was like, yeah, actually, I am. He was like, well, yeah, I guess I could see your point about the movie. I was like, thanks, Dad.
It said a little bit, and he was like,
He was probably just trying to make me feel better.
He was like, it was exquisite. I don't know what you're talking about.
Actually, it was like a 5 out of 5. Oof. But yeah, let's get into it. Alrighty, so Don't Breathe 2 is a dull sequel, and for the podcast, I put that in quotes because I don't think it's really a sequel, of a film that follows the beloved blind man, he doesn't get a name, from Don't Breathe. This time, he's traded in his turkey baster for some random kid he found on the street. Everything seems fine and dandy as the blind man raises Phoenix on a strict diet of survival instincts. Unfortunately, good things don't last long for this guy, as once again, some bad guys break into his home. This time, they aren't here for the money. They want Phoenix.
Or Tara.
Honestly, I would go by Phoenix too if my name was Tara.
Yeah, he's like, your real name's Tara. And that's when she knew. She's like, she said, I don't want to be here no more.
Actually, it's not. Wrong kid.
Literally. Okay. Sorry. Just for now, I'm going to pull this in front of me and my little makeshift security protection.
Gotta do what you gotta do.
Okay, so this was Don't Breathe 2. Came out in 2021, obviously. Just a little bit about the reviews. On Rotten Tomatoes, the critics gave it a 39%, and the audience gave it an 86%.
Boo, I don't understand this audience, bro.
Anyway, and I just wanted to compare that to the last movie. So the last movie got an 88% from the critics, and the audience gave it a 78%. So it seems, according to Rotten Tomatoes, that audiences liked this movie better than the original, and it seems that the critics... aka us, believe that the first movie was way superior than this air quote sequel. And on IMDb, it got a 6.3 out of 10, which I still feel like is a little high.
I feel like IMDb's movies stay at a 6.
They say everything we've said is a 6.2, 6 point anything. I've not seen a 7. I've not seen a 5.
No, that's their only score is a 6.
That's just how different we all think.
I guess so.
Some people think it's 10. Other people think it's a 3 or 2.
The fact that the audience score is so high, though, for this one, I just don't get it.
I don't know that I understand an 86%.
That's so high.
I get critics sometimes are a little more critical. Yeah. But in this case, I give them the complete go ahead to do so. So the director is Rodo Seyegas. The writers are Fede Alvarez and also Rodo Seyegas again. And I did look it up how to pronounce it. I probably didn't sound very good, but I did look it up.
Look at you. Better than what you did for Fear Street. The director still don't know how to pronounce her name, bro.
We're gonna move along here. But it was interesting. They also did oh my God, hold on, I wrote it. Evil Dead. There we go. I was like, I know what it is. Yeah. So they did Evil Dead. So they did kind of talk about it a little bit, which we'll get into. But the cast, so Stephen Lang plays Norman Nordstrom. So if you didn't know his name, it's Norman.
Oh.
You know, not just the man who cannot see. He is more than that.
When I looked it up on Google, that's how it credited him. So maybe I should have gone on IMDb, because on Google it says blind man. I was like, oh, okay.
It does. It says that on the cast when it auto populates on the Google. Yeah, I was like, oh, he didn't get a name, but he did technically get a name. So it's Norman. Madeline Grace plays Phoenix or Tara. Brandon Sexton III is Raylan, who's the dad. Adam Young is Jim Bob, kind of one of his henchmen. Also, Richie Williams is Duke, another goon. Christian Zagia as Raul, I think, who was the one who was a little more hesitant about the whole ordeal. Stephanie Arcila is Hernandez, possibly Look at me throwing a little flair on there.
Bro, one of your goals this year was to learn Spanish,
Look at me. Arguably my favorite character, and she passed.
Yikes. And she got it pretty bad, too.
She did. Okay. Anyway. And then Fiona O'Shaughnessy. I started strong, y'all. O'Shaughnessy. Wait, hold on. I can't do it. I can't be that. I can't be that bad.
O'Shaughnessy.
O'Shaughnessy.
Of course.
Which is exactly what. Oh, thank you so much. We're going to do that all over again. Fiona O'Shaughnessy is the mother, Josephine. Mm-hmm. Stefan Rotary is the surgeon. Ron Rogel is the market manager. Who's that?
I love Ron Rogel.
What's the market manager? Oh, I was trying to remember who the market manager was.
I have no idea. You saw this movie yesterday, so if anybody should know, it's
I know.
you.
I was like, who? But I was like, were they at a marketing firm at one point? I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
And Bobby Schofield is Jared, who is the annoying one that got his mouth glued. Mm-hmm. Why the old man didn't just kill him right then and there, we'll never know. But alas. So I did look at a video interview by Steve Weintraub. And like I said earlier, one of their first films was Evil Dead. So they said they had a little bit of leverage to go off of once they completed that film. And they said that because they started talking about kind of gore and violence. And he kind of asked how do you tread lightly of not to get the NC-17, the dreaded right. NC-17, which I feel like, is that such a bad thing? Because they were saying how it's almost, what did they say? How it kind of is kind of a censorship, I guess. But I'm like, it's just a rating. But I guess if you get that rating, it makes
it harder for people to watch it.
But I mean, how is it necessarily censorship? Because I feel like if it truly is that violent and you do need a rating for it, like, it's not like you can't play it.
True.
But I don't know. I feel like, but would most people still want to see it? I'm just thinking, is there that big of a difference between R and NC-17?
That's a good question.
The people who are really going to be watching these movies probably don't care. They've seen worse stuff on the internet. You know what I mean? Like, how many unrated films have these people watched? But I guess, so anyway, they kind of talked about that a little bit. But it was interesting because they said Stephen Lang, who plays our good man, Norman, they said that he was like the nicest man until they went on set, and then he was in character, and they'd be like, hey, blah, blah, blah. And he just would... He's in character. So I thought that was interesting.
That is interesting. We love a method actor.
We do. But, he didn't do it the entire time. Just when he's on set. So, like, when they went to go eat, when they left, he was chill. He was chill.
Good. Just silent the entire time.
Yes. And they said that they felt like nothing was really left out. So what you saw is what they wanted.
That's good. I mean, I didn't want any of it. Throw it all away.
Did you like Evil Dead? I feel like I watched it a long time ago.
I did like Evil Dead. And I like the original one. And I like the new one. And I feel like Evil Dead is way more violent than this movie.
Yeah, that's just R, right?
No? I think so.
Okay.
So, I mean, unless they experience the NC-17 rating with that one. And that's why they're like, we have to figure out how to tread the line. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know. But I feel like a lot of, so just side note, kind of, when I'm on Netflix, there's wild stuff on there. Stuff that's is definitely worse than NC-17. Like I just say it was called Sex Life. It was like a story that I tell you, a story about a woman. She's living her best housewife life. She hates it, and she starts fantasizing about her ex-boyfriends. There's that. Very graphic, very not safe for work. You cannot play that on a movie screen. That would definitely be NC-17 or something. Yeah. But it's crazy because I feel like a lot of those are on Netflix. Like, I definitely see people needing child censors on there because I'm like, imagine your kid just... going on Netflix.
You can easily do that. I mean, they give you like the kids like option to choose in the beginning,
but they click on your profile
and it's over. There's no way that they won't click on something that they can't watch.
So it's almost like the ratings. Not that they don't matter, but I feel like I don't even know what the rating is for half the movie. Like you can see when you click on it, but a lot of them just say TVMA, like for mature, but it's a movie. I thought TVMA was just for shows. But I'm like, what is just mature?
Yeah.
No age required. Just be mature.
We're all mature here.
But anyway, so that's all I really had. They didn't say too much else, but they're excited about the sequel.
They're also the writers and the directors from the first one too, right?
Yes. So I don't believe...
Yikes.
What?
I didn't know that was the case. I thought that this was written and directed by new people because it didn't even seem like they gave...
no, they did the first one.
I know. And I'm kind of disappointed.
Yes, but they directed I feel like this one.
Yeah.
As opposed to the last one. Sorry. I think they more wrote the first one. This one, they
needed a different director for sure.
Yes.
I hated this movie. Hated it.
Let's get into it. So, Kayli, you have such strong feelings, and I would like to hear highest problems?
My highest problem?
Yes.
I think, okay, so I did rewatch the first one after I watched the movie, the second one. So my biggest thing was that they showed you what was going to be used or what was a key thing in it every single scene. So it was nothing exciting ever. Like we saw the what is it called? The pitchfork in the greenhouse. We saw that can. We saw the red doors before she even went inside.
Yeah.
It was like they didn't show anything subtly. Like in the first movie, they did kind of do that, the same thing where they showed like what was going to be used. Like in the first part, when they first break into the guy's house, they like zoom through like the house and they go under the guy's bed and you can see a gun there. So like we didn't really have to see that, but they did it in a more not so in your face way, I guess you could say, in more of a creative like way as like the camera work. And then they also show like bells in the corner and you're like, wonder what that is. And then you find out in the mystery of it all that girl's locked down there and that's how he knows when she needs something or when she's awake, I guess, is through the bells. But with this one, like literally they showed you everything. It felt like a damn video game. There's so many parts of this where it felt like a video game where it was showing you your objectives. I was like, bro, come the fuck on. I was so annoyed. Like this whole time I was laughing and like in the theater there's a few people too and they would laugh too and I was like, I don't think this is, we're getting censored, but I don't think that was what they were trying to get, like the reaction. They don't want people to laugh at their film. It wasn't like funny.
They're laughing at us?
No, Patrick. They're laughing next to us.
It was supposed to be scary and it wasn't. But that's my biggest issue was with that. But overall, it was so bland. Like it's interesting that these came from the same people who created the first one or had a hand in the first one. It just feels like a cheap rip-off. Like this is whenever you ask for Cheez-Its and you get cheese nips. This is just wasn't great.
Oh my. Wasn't great. Oh my.
It was terrible. That's my biggest issue with this film is that it was just so, and it was also very predictable and just dry and boring and terrible. All of it. Throw it away.
Throw it away. Sorry, I'm just moving my computer out of the way.
Throw that away too.
Throw it away. No, I agree. Yeah.
Indeed.
I just don't feel like this was a sequel. It just felt like a very standalone story without a lot of background information. But I just feel like nothing really tied into the first one.
Nothing.
Or it didn't really need to. I mean, you see the daughter. I said daughter weird. Daughter. Sorry. I hate myself. You see the daughter. And so you're kind of like, okay, a little mystery there because, in the first movie, the host of his future child, the woman that he kidnaps, she dies. So that didn't work out. So it's kind of like, did he kidnap someone else? Like, where did this child come from? So that was like the only thing that I think really tied into the first one. But you didn't really need that information.
No.
I guess the only thing that it helps you is just why he took her in the first place. But I guess you don't even need that because at the end you realize he supposedly saved her from a bad situation. So it didn't even really tie into the fact that he really just wanted a daughter.
Yeah.
It just makes him seem like a really good guy.
Yeah.
Like, wow, he just saw a child in need and helped her out. But no, he probably was looking for a child and was like, look, the child and her parents are on drugs. They're never going to know. That whole...
Boy,
my gosh. Okay. But anyway, so yeah, that was my only thing is I was a little disappointed because I felt like we could really build off of what they started with.
Yeah.
And even maybe touch on the first girl of the first movie. So I'm like, I thought it would be cool if somehow he gets revenge on her or something with her. Like, not that you have to bring her back, but I don't know. I was just a little disappointed. I'm like, nothing got tied up. It just was a new story and it wasn't very good.
Yeah. They tried to do like, I guess you could say an homage to the first one because in the first one, it opens up with him dragging the main girl off the street. And then this one kind of opens up in a similar way where that little girl's walking and then she falls on the road and then he finds her.
You mean that's CGI? I literally was like, what was that? Literally,
was scary, bro.
She was I'm like, you couldn't find a little girl to fall,
bro. They got what is her name in fucking Twilight? That fake ass CGI baby.
Oh my gosh, Renesmee.
Yes, that was who they got. They got a grown up.
Literally, the opening scene, you see this girl crawling from a house in the fire, and she collapses on the ground, and it's the CGI video game character. And then, of course, they do a close up, and it's a real girl. But I was like, wait, we're not gonna let that slide,
bro.
What was the reason?
I don't know.
Literally, the reason was what for what?
But you did this for what?
Why not?
Why?
Why not?
Why though?
There was there was also, what movie was it? It was Justice League. I think it was the first one, like the original one. There's like a part where there's like a CGI Alfred like waving at them as they leave. I was like, what the hell was that?
I just don't know why sometimes it's necessary. Did they not have the actor for that moment? And they're like, we'll just throw him in.
It's fine.
His schedule's not really working out with our recording time, so we're just gonna put him in.
Just figure it out somehow.
I don't know.
A video game character.
It threw me off. I was like, this is how this movie's gonna go. Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
But yeah, I guess you want to talk about your issues with like the plot. Everything. First of all, before we get into it, when that little girl was running from the dog in the beginning, girl, she wasn't even going nowhere. Did you see how slow she was going?
No, there's no reason. What was that, a Rottweiler? Like,
Yeah,
there's no
something.
reason why a 12-year-old girl should be able to outrun a very strong dog of that nature.
But did you see how she was running too? She said, that was all. That's all she was doing.
And the dog was like
He
full
was
speed.
hustling.
And it was just like the opposite of like a horror film.
I know.
She's going slow, but somehow going fast. But you know
Maybe
what?
that's the key to it all.
It's
you just
fine.
go slow.
You
and
go
you'll be
slow.
fine. You'll get there
just
eventually.
Stride a little bit more, and you cover more distance rather than exerting unnecessary energy.
Exactly.
But yeah, I guess my biggest problem with the plot did make sense. It just was not good. Like
That too.
well, I was more like when the movie started, I think it started with more promise because I was excited to see where the guys came from.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, okay, what kind of vendetta do they have against, like,
This old man.
you know, the old man or the
Yeah.
girl? Because they kind of were looking at the girl, and of course they kill Hernandez, obviously, to get rid of her, I guess.
Still can't believe they, like, okay, so that's her dad, right? That saw her in the bathroom. You followed
Yes.
your daughter into the bathroom, and then you're like, you're pretty.
Yeah, I did want to talk about that because I was like, he gave off real predator vibes for no
Yes.
reason at all. He could have been nice. I mean, like, you know, he could have been outside the bathroom and be like, hey, you know, something.
Yeah.
Kind of like a dad who's never seen his daughter, but he's sitting in there like, hey, you're really cute. And you think he's going to like assault her.
I know.
And then she just like, I'm not scared of you, and walks past. He's like, huh. The only reason why he stopped, I guess, because of the dog. Mm-hmm. I'm just like, wait, what? So that was odd. I know they were trying to make it all mysterious, but when it's her dad, you don't do that.
I know. Why didn't they make it like the goon or something that did that?
No, literally, it could have been
could've
anybody else.
But they're like, no, let's put the dad in that situation where he looks super creepy.
And then it's gonna be your dad. And I'm like, oh my gosh, shocker twist. Not. Yeah. So that was really weird. Thank you for bringing that up. Thank you. That was very important.
It was.
Yeah, and just they're just the reason why the guys were there. And I'm sorry, it seems like they're supposed to be on drugs, and somehow they're just like fighting, killing machines. And I'm just like, because the drugs they seem to be doing are a little bit harder than I would say your average drug.
Yeah, it seems like they're doing meth.
Yeah, because I was confused because everybody else seemed like they weren't really doing drugs, but then the mom comes out, so unless she's the only one that's seemingly addicted. I mean, you gotta taste the food. You gotta taste the food.
She's doing too much
She
tasting.
tastes a lot of food. Yeah, and just the whole they took her for her heart. Like they were so chill with their daughter being missing, and then she's like, "I need a new heart." And they said,
We
"Remember
know
that
a
daughter
perfect
that we
one."
just let get taken away." Like,
Bro.
and how do they know where she was? How did they find her? Like, it just seemed very.
Unless they're
like a
all in the
stretch.
same town. I guess that would be the only way that.
Why would you take a child with a clear birthmark? Because she has the white streak in her hair. Why are we in the same town? Everybody's going to know. Remember that girl that disappeared? Here's a picture of her. Oh, hey, what a unique feature. Oh, hey, you know who else has that unique feature? That girl, that old man who just popped up.
Yeah. Yeah, you're not wrong.
So I don't know how. I don't know. Just explain a little bit more about like what? Like, okay.
And first of all, can we talk about the main point that they wanted her heart? She is a child. That woman was grown.
Thank you.
I don't think that
How
works.
is her little 12-year-old heart going to not only pump an adult, but an adult whose health is deteriorating regardless?
Bro.
Like the heart's going to give out anyway. She's going to do one more whatever. And then like that puts a lot of pressure on your heart. And if she's a
Yeah.
12-year-old heart, I'm like, if she doesn't stop doing drugs,
You
it's
just gonna
literally
die either
you're just-
way.
that's what I'm saying. I'm like, I need to see her bettering her life. Has she got on a better track? She stopped doing drugs. She starts working out. She's drinking water now.
She's a vegan, right?
She's plant-based. She's doing her best. I get it. I truly get it. Now
Then you can't take
the
her
heart
heart,
is small, but the heart can grow. Could it grow? Would it grow?
I asked Tristan that too because he's not a doctor, but close enough. And he was like, no, it's not going to work. She's going to die. I was like, okay.
Yeah, I was like, because the heart would need to grow to a full adult heart in order for it to pump blood in her body. But
I
I'm
thought
like,
that surgeon was supposed to be smart. Didn't he go to med school? I mean, I didn't go to med school, and I know this, so.
yeah, I literally was like, she's a child. Oh, and then why on earth they were about to cut this girl open? I'm like, knock her out. They're like, she has to be alive.
She has to be alive.
I'm like, yeah, just give her the same drink you gave her earlier. She'll be alive and knocked out. I'm like, I swear, if you don't kidnap me to cut me up, you can knock me out. You already have all the equipment.
How rude. Not only gonna kill me, but you gotta make me awake and aware.
No, literally. She's just like, no. And they're like, we have to do it when you're alive. I'm like, y'all are not intelligent, clearly. The doctor sucks. The no sanitation.
No.
This is not gonna work. They're both next to each other. No, my goodness.
Yeah.
So were they gonna? No. Okay. No. Just no. And Coraline. They look like Coraline's mom.
Bro, yes it did.
She was so scary.
She was so creepy. I mean, okay, so like the whole like thing was with the song, right? So whenever Phoenix or Tara was younger, she heard that song, and so she was singing it in the car when her Hernandez was there, and then like and then she hears a song being sung behind her when she's trying to leave that creepy ass hotel, and it was sung in the most creepy manner. I would have not turned
She didn't even try.
I would
She didn't
run
even try.
away.
She didn't even try. It's like this figure sitting because you're not really sure who it is or what, and just the head is cocked to the side.
Bro,
and it's
looking like
dark.
a damn Bond villain. I'm like, what?
That would have solidified my choice in leaving.
Exactly.
They were like, don't worry, you can leave. We know she'll stay for mother. I'm like, no.
Little bird, little bird.
No.
Bitch, I'm gone.
Mom, I will bring flowers to your funeral. Do not sing anymore. Don't stress your vocal cords any more than they need to be.
That heart pumping too much, girl.
I'm just like, there was no other option for y'all.
no.
I guess not. They don't have any other family members. I suppose. But I mean, you don't even know. Did they know her blood type?
That's what Tristan was saying
There
too.
are so many other factors into giving one of the most critical organs.
Yeah.
It's not that other ones are easy, but I mean, if you're gonna try one, I guess a kidney maybe. Your heart.
If you're gonna sample it,
And
try
I
the
was
kidney
just
first.
looking at the equipment that was set up, and I was like, they're gonna have to pull out the mother's heart because they don't care about the daughter. They're just gonna pull it. She can die, I guess. Then they pull the mother's heart out, and I'm like, where are they putting it? Like, where's the assistants? This is not a one-man job. They had one doctor.
I was trying to figure that out too. Like, what was he just gonna go back and forth from them?
He's
like,
just gonna do
sawing
really
someone's
quickly.
chest?
Like, he's okay, go. Like, I think it takes multiple people for a heart transplant, and then. Yeah. So that whole theory, I guess if you want to say that they're not necessarily in the right mind, clearly they've gone a little crazy if they want to kill a child for the child's heart.
Right. Obviously, they're not in their sound mind,
No.
but somebody should be. And be like, guys, I don't think this is gonna work.
No. And honestly, they didn't need to go to all that trouble to, make the daughter love them. I really think they could have just given her a drink a long time ago, said absolutely nothing, and then just gone about their day. But they're like, no, we love you. And like almost trying to convince her, give your heart to your mom. I'm like, just knock her out. You don't just let her.
How are you gonna try to
sleep.
convince that little girl,
A child, to give you her heart? And you just met her. But I guess they have the same birthmark, so it's true. Because the whole time I'm like, what if these aren't even her parents?
I know. That's why I was hoping the ultimate twist was gonna be.
Thank you. I was like, I hope they're not her parents, and that there's a bigger twist, because we can't be done. We can't be done here.
And that was it though.
No.
I was so
No.
I mean, like, there was like so many. There's not so many actually in the first one. There was like a big twist with that reveal of that girl being locked up in his thing, and so that was really exciting and intriguing. But with this one, it's like
That was it.
It was awful.
There's no
intrigue, nothing. It was just so bland. That's all I can keep saying. It's just bland. It was just so boring.
Yeah, and I just feel like they made the older man good. Not that he's 100% bad, but definitely from the first movie, he is not fully good because he obviously kidnapped her. Now he has a reason for it, not that it gives him an excuse at all to kidnap her and hold her and inseminate her. But I'm like, I just feel like in this movie, he's just a good guy.
Yeah.
He's an honest man. He might have done things in war, but like we didn't touch on anything.
I know. They
in
try
his
to excuse
past.
him because like even Hernandez was like, you think that you're a bad man, huh? We all have demons, but you're still good. I'm like,
She was talking about regular war happenings, not kidnapping women to have your babies.
I don't think she was including that part at all.
She didn't know. But yeah, I'm like, I wish that they kind of still showed, unless they want to say he's a changed man, but then I need to see that.
Exactly.
I need to see that the transformation, maybe he was mourning maybe he regrets what he did, but I didn't really see that except for when there was a few moments where he was like, I'm a bad man. I don't know. It just wasn't enough for me. I'm like, honestly, I'd rather him be still a little bit evil. And I wanted there to be a little bit more of a selfish reason why he took the girl.
Than just like, oh, there are meth heads.
Did he know that they were?
Yeah, it shows like he was watching the news and they're like, the house blew up.
Or did he blow it up?
I think they said that the meth lab blew
up. Okay. And then the daughter came out and he just was there at the right place, right time. Okay.
That's it. Yeah. I don't know. I just wish that there was a little bit more to it. And then it was just really like, so in the first one, it's, you know, he's a veteran, and then there's just like regular kids trying to rob him. And in this one, it was like veteran against veteran. I'm like, boy, they were trying to like step it up a little bit more, and it was just still so trash.
Yeah.
And like the dialogue in this movie, awful. God awful.
The bad guys were not.
It was awful. Oh, okay, so let's talk about that one guy because it goes into the dialogue. I guess there are two brothers, the one who got his mouth glued and then the other one who helped him out.
Shaved head or whatever.
Yeah, I was not expecting his brother to stab him in the cheek.
I thought he was just going to cut open his mouth.
No, I was not expecting
like his brother did after. He was like, okay, that was unnecessary. Like, I think it was just for shock value. And I was just like,
so
okay.
Odd. It was just such an odd choice.
But then why did he even leave him alive?
That's true.
James was like, why didn't he just kill him? He did all that work to tape his mouth and nose. He could have just cracked his neck. Clearly, this man is an assassin. I'm like, you're not wrong. They did this just for, I don't even know. Mm-hmm. And so I just think that some of the gore to me wasn't just necessary.
Yeah,
like,
just for the
I'm
gore.
all for realism, but sometimes when I can tell that they're really trying to hone in on the gory and the blood looked like jelly.
Especially with the eyes, too.
Yes. I mean, I know eyes can be more jelly-like, but I remember at one point he was like the old man was squeezing his...
Oh, when he got hurt,
his wound together, and it was just like a little bit of jelly blood that came out. And I was like, wait, if you're going to do it right, like blood needs to be everywhere. But it literally looked like jelly. It was clumped together in this little gel glob. And I was like, is that the blood?
That's it.
This looks like my Halloween attempt. No. So I was just not impressed with some of the... It looked like they were forcing gore, but it didn't really look that great in some of the scene. Like the blood just, I don't know what blood they were using, but it just didn't look like blood. It looked like jelly.
Mm-hmm. They went to the wrong blood provider for sure.
You know what? All these million, you did Evil Dead and you can't get the right blood.
Exactly. There's a part where she like literally had her arm like stuck under a Jeep and she had to like rip it out and it was bloody and gross and it was raining blood in that movie.
Yeah.
You would think they would know how to do blood.
Just a little bit. I don't know. Unless they had to cut back for the rating. They're like, well, just make it jelly-like and it won't be as bad.
Make it, if we zoom in close enough, it'll look like a donut.
Ooh, yum.
Ooh. But yeah, then so after he gets his mouth like open and free, before that, his brother's like, oh my God, he's a veteran or a SEAL or whatever. And and then the brother's like, a dead SEAL. I'm like, oh my God.
Very cheap. Very bad guys are bad guys. I like when characters have a little bit more depth to them. It was just kind of like good guy versus the really bad guys. Like, I feel like they could have written the bad guys' characters a little bit better and made him a little bit likable. Because, like, on one hand, their daughter did get kidnapped. So I wanted to feel sympathy. But then they're like, no, haha. Actually, the old man is all the way right. He's such a good guy. These are really bad guys. Like, even if they ended up using the daughter anyways for the heart, I just feel like they could have showed them not as just all the way bad, because I feel like it made it cheesier.
Yeah, I agree.
There was no dimension to the characters. It just was like the bad guy villains. They wanted to cut a child's heart. Twist, look, twist and turn. It was her dad, but now he's evil. I don't know. I wasn't getting that. And I feel like they could have given more dimension even to the main character, Norman
and Phoenix too.
Yeah, I mean, Phoenix was okay. She's just a girl. You can tell she wants to branch out. She doesn't know about her history, so I get that a little bit more. But yeah, the other characters just felt flat for me. It was just like the whole positive good guy versus the really bad guys, and there was just no in between. I didn't have any conflict against like who I was voting for. Like at first, like as soon as they revealed that the head bad guy was her dad, I was like, oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Here. And then they completely killed it when there was no redeeming qualities at all for the bad guys. Like, they're just bad. The only redeeming quality was one guy, but it didn't do much for the plot. He just was like, I'm out. Like, I ain't doing this. And I agree with what you do. We've gone too far, sir.
He said, this is crazy. I can't believe we're doing this.
No.
You could go back there.
He's like, oh, wow. Right this way. Little to the left. Great job. Like, I don't know. I just was like,
that part was so goofy too.
Yeah, just a lot of stuff. But I actually didn't think the acting was too bad.
But I do want to go back on what you said, though, because it reminds me of the first one. Like, so there's those 3 kids just breaking into people's houses just because they can. And so they don't look like the best people. But then, like, you know, Rocky is trying to take the money so that they can leave the shitty life that they have.
Yes. Like, you learn about each character kind of has their own stuff going on.
Exactly. And then, like, in the, you know, the old man, like, he seems pretty innocent at the beginning because, you know, his daughter got killed and that's why he has all this money. And then you find out that he has that girl locked up underneath his house. And so, like, it gives them both a good and a bad. So you're like, I remember when I rewatched it, Tristan was like, man, I kind of wish they killed off the main girl because, like, you know, she doesn't deserve the money. She's bad too. And I was like, I think that's the best thing that they could have done with the movie. They make them both not great at the same time.
So it's a lose. Like, somebody's not going to necessarily win.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's what they should have done with this one. They did it so well in the first one. They should have made it like this too. But instead they were like, oh, this old man's really nice. Like, he, kidnapped the girl. But those guys were meth heads.
But don't worry. He feels bad about it because Hernandez said something to make him feel better. So all's forgiven. I don't know. Like, I really wish... I don't know, because I thought that was one of the more interesting parts of the first movie was the whole basement thing. So I'm like... And you didn't get much of that. That was literally kind of... You saw the girl come out at the end, and then it makes a kind of a recap when the main chick gets, you know, captured and put in the same situation.
Yeah.
But I just was like, that was an interesting story. I wish they kind of built off more of what we didn't necessarily see, or like maybe did he kidnap another girl, or it just would have been a little bit more interesting. Like, what if he was on a mission to find the original girl because she needs to have his baby now because she took away. I don't know. I'm just like, why is there not a consistency in his character? And if for whatever reason he decided not to do that, or he's good now, like I said, I wish they would have shown a little bit of transformation. Like, when did he decide that he doesn't need to do that? Instead of just going to the local foster care system and adopting a child, he decides to just like last minute capture a child. Not that I'm saying, I guess what he did in the end wasn't positive.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just feel like if he really, really wants a child and he's clearly willing to get a child that's not his, why are we not adopting? Well, maybe he can't adopt because he's an older single man. I don't know. They make it really difficult sometimes if you're not like a,
and he has a disability
heterosexual
too.
couple, you know. True. He's technically disabled, so maybe they wouldn't let him adopt. So you know what? We'll let that slide. But I don't know. I don't know. That just was confusing to me. The whole, I don't know. Just the one-dimensional character thing.
I think I guess it was just not a very good idea to begin with. I think it was just like a very boring idea. Like, I kind of get what they're going from because, like, you know, he obviously just wants a child again. That's his biggest motivation, is that he wants a kid. But you don't really even get that from this movie if you didn't see the first one. And it's just like, yeah, like what we said earlier, like they're both basically standalones. Like, you don't really have to watch both of them to understand what's going on in either one. So I feel like they could have done something different but kind of similar. Like, yeah, sure, maybe he does find a kid somehow and he's able to finally get a child, but just don't make it so goofy where it's like, oh yeah, the parents are meth heads and now they want her back so they could take her heart even though she's 12 and the mom's dying and she's like 40. Like,
it was a lot. I was like, wait.
And then the fact that they're like, okay, so we did the first movie in basically one location. Let's branch it out to 2 where this old man can dominate everybody in this new location that he's never been to. I just don't get it.
Yeah.
The first one made much more sense because he's obviously familiar with his home. He knows every square inch of that house and a little bit of the surrounding area. But this one, he literally went so far
to the hotel.
Yeah, with a dog that was like, he's like, home, buddy. I don't know.
The dog was like, yes, home. I'm like, which home? I can't imagine they were at this hotel that long.
Exactly.
But maybe they've been there for a while.
So it was just kind of weird that that's basically what happened. Is just like he went to another place and was able to like not even be confused or not even get like thwarted from, you know, being in a whole new environment. He's clearly never been there, but you couldn't tell, obviously.
Yeah, it was a little bit of stretch there of
that fool was like turning off boxes and shit and just fighting people with sonar powers like he was a bat. Come on.
I mean, maybe he was.
He's Batman.
He had some other, He could just see the whole time. That's literally the twist.
That's the twist. What if that was?
That would be a great, like the whole time he could just see.
That would be amazing.
And he just plays like he can't so that he comes off as more vulnerable. But really, he saw y'all hiding in the corner. Y'all look dumb.
Right. He said he can't see us. Possibly he couldn't.
He can't. It's so dark in here as well. I'm so quiet. Look at me tiptoeing. And he's just watching them like, tiptoeing. I see y'all.
Did have another thing with the dog. First of all, I'm so tired of horror movies doing this thing. They introduce a dog dead in the next scene.
Yes.
Stop doing it. We did that with Fear Street 2. With the last one, they introduced Mary Boy for 2 seconds, killed him off.
He lasted the first movie, just not the second.
But in this one, so okay, his dog dies, and then they have the bad guys have a dog that they stick him on or whatever, kind of like playing off the first one, because that's basically what they do in the first one too. Is he uses his dog to go get him. But why does he just murked somebody at that point already? He like murked a real person, and then the dog comes and he's like, I don't know if I could kill him. I was like, boy, you are.
Because, people like animals more than they like people.
It killed me that he was like having a whole breakdown, a whole crisis of like, I don't think I could kill another living thing after he just murked somebody.
Well, maybe he thinks the dog is innocent because the dog is just doing what he's told.
He was
and then the
trained
dog
that way.
is completely chill after he gets saved
Out of that fire. Yep.
and dips. He said, thanks, buddy. And then he was running around the fire like, oof. It was a lot. And then the ending, it just cracked me up when she was like, this is all I've wanted. And she was like the children, the foster home or something.
Yeah.
That's all she wanted. She's like, I don't want any parents. Like, even from the beginning, she's like, I'm tired of my dad. She's like, I thought I found a family. I don't want them either. She's like, I just want friends. This poor girl.
It would have been kind of funny if she chose like a whole different name. She didn't go by Phoenix Artera. She just chose.
It's Ashley. Hey, Ashley, come on in.
Right.
Where are you from? They're going to figure it out so quick.
Girl, for real. And it was just like everything was so spelled out, even with like the dialogue. Like there's a point where Phoenix was in her room reading like a thing about the foster home, and like you could see it already. It was like, come find your home. And she was like, come find your home. She read it out loud to herself, to nobody. And then it panned off to the next scene. I was like, that's so pointless, bro.
Because you have to see how much she wants a family, because it ties in later when she finds her dad.
It was just
And
so
her mom.
stupid.
Or crazy.
But they didn't have to like have her say it. We could just see it. She could look sad, call it a day. She don't have to say it. We're not stupid. We could read for the most part.
I'm just dead. It was just like, instead of looking at like families, she was looking at like a pamphlet of orphans. And was like, that's where I want to be. I don't know.
My
just
goal.
Like, unless she wanted to eventually be adopted. But I just feel like she didn't even care about that. She's like, I just want friends my age who also don't have families.
Yeah.
We're going to get along great.
She says, we have so much in common.
She's going to start training them at the place.
real.
They're like, what is she doing? Trying to get me 10. And they're just like, oh my gosh.
I don't want to play tag.
She like finds a dog. She's like, sick him. They're like, what is she doing?
No, we don't want her. We don't want her.
Like, no.
They're like, do you have a rat? Call him Stuart Little. I still can't believe about that movie though. They really went through a whole orphanage and adopted a rat.
A rat.
Anyways.
And then they were like, don't you think you should adopt someone of your own kind? I said, not the transspeciesism. I remember they were like, you don't want to get one of your own kind? I was like, no.
They said, nope, this is fine.
Oh, that movie was a trip. I watched that as an adult. Sorry, side note. I like maybe a few months ago, and I was like, what? We turned it off. I was like, this is horrible.
I have to rewatch it. I haven't seen it since I was a kid.
Oh, it's like literally, it doesn't make any sense. And he's like a grown little man, like mouse too. Like he's not even like, hey guys, I'm 12. He's like, hey dad. He's not like he's 27. I was like,
Still living at home. Get a job, Stuart.
no, literally. Anyway, sorry, side note, but
That should be our next review, Stuart.
Stuart Little, all the Dr. Doolittle and all the animals.
All those, yeah. Interesting concepts there. Better than this movie for sure.
A little more creativity. Yeah, I just wish I had higher hopes. It would have been nice to continue from the first movie. I really would have liked it if like the original family started investigating. Like after, you know how at the end, what happens in the first movie? Because this house doesn't catch on fire or anything.
No, but the cops get called, and but he lives. He gets pushed down like at his cellar, and he like looks like he's dead, but he ends up living obviously because he's in this one. But the cops end up coming, and she runs off with the money, and then she's at a train station with her sister, and she sees on the news that he had warded off those two guys, and he's alive. So that's how it ended. Nothing burnt down. He lived. She got on a train and left. That's it.
Yeah, but
Yeah, I wish it if it was going to be a sequel, then it should have been a sequel, not like another one in
random
the series.
storyline. They're like, we thought about actually doing this the first time. We didn't get to.
This is like an alternate
We're gonna
universe.
do it now. Yeah, I'm like,
the first movie never happened. He never kidnapped anybody, nothing.
No, yeah, they made him way too good. I'm like, this man clearly is not the best guy. And if he is a good guy now, why? Why is he now good? He did all that just to be like, I learned a very valuable lesson because she took off with his money.
Yeah.
And she's crazy because she really went back for that money when she should have dipped. But
She was money hungry, girl.
she's lucky that
She's
guy
a
was
girl
like,
boss.
she literally, the other guys died. And she's like, ooh, because the way I would just tell the police what really happened, the way that they would get an anonymous letter.
She said no.
She said, that's none of my
Never
business.
mind.
I'm going to leave now. None of my business. But I'm like, what on earth? I would have sent some kind of evidence and been like, look in his basement, check for DNA. That girl's in there. Don't ask who I am. Just know that it is not what you think.
How many, I mean, you listen to true crime. There's so many cases where they get anonymous letters.
So many. And they can't trace them. And
Yeah.
you can literally make an anonymous tip. She
That's
could have
all
did
you
that.
gotta do.
I would have done that.
That's like, I think that's the best thing you could have done in that situation. You broke into that man's house to steal from him.
Yes.
And then that girl dies on your watch, kind of,
She did.
Yikes.
She just wanted to leave.
She was like, at first of all, they were about to leave her too, because it was only the one of the guys and her were alive still, and that guy was like, let's just get out of here. I was like, damn, she can still hear you, bro.
Yeah,
That
she's
girl's
like,
over here trapped in a corner.
please.
Like, no, don't.
How awful. You think
Imagine
he
if
would have
that's
let her
what-
go? He's like, I'm going to let her go. Don't you worry. I'm like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe. I mean, he really just wants a kid, obviously. He'll find one off the
know.
street, take him with him.
clearly. Oh my goodness. We can talk about his little problem.
We should have gotten more into it for sure.
Yeah, because that was the most fascinating. It was like a psychological thing going, and then this one's just, we don't know what happened.
And I guess like we could kind of talk about how it's like a sensory horror too. And I think those things are very interesting. Like we got A Quiet Place where it's like all silent for the most part. And this one where he's blind and he uses that to his advantages in both movies. Because in one of them, he like turns off the lights so they can't see. And so they like try to talk to each other and he can like hear and like he tries to shoot him. And then in this one, he has like that insect smoked. I don't know what the fuck that was.
I think it was like if any kind of explosion goes off, the gas will blow up.
No, not that one, but when they were like by the pool and it was like really, really foggy, but it looked like there was like a bug on the can.
Oh, don't know.
Yeah, I don't know what that was, but hopefully it wasn't poisonous. They really, speaking of poisonous, they really poisoned the little girl's mind. She's a murderer now. She straight up killed her parents.
What?
The little girl, she killed her parents. She's a murderer.
Oh, yeah.
She chopped off an arm.
She was about that life. She said, not
Jeez.
today.
Bro, she's not
on my
normal.
watch. That little dull machete. That poor girl.
That was, yeah.
And they fell anyway.
Yeah, so it literally didn't matter. But
No.
she chopped off that girl's arm. She stabbed her dad or shot her dad or something. Now she's a murderer.
She did what she had to. She said, you want my heart? You get nothing. And you get death. Have fun.
Now imagine trying to like get a parent after that. What happened to your other ones? Well, they're dead. I killed them.
It crossed me. Anyway, where do I start? Will you take me home?
And just don't make me do shit I don't want to do, and we won't have a problem. Phoenix will be crazy, bro, when she get older.
She's seen too many things. She's like, I don't have to put up with any of this.
She.
I do not. What did you say to me? Did you say something?
Do you know how I was raised?
Do you know where I come from? Hiya.
It gives me vibes of like Halloween with Jamie Lee Curtis, the one that just came out like a few years ago, where she was like raising her kid to survive,
to be survivalist,
Yeah.
which I like. I always love a good. They're trained. Ooh, like You're Next. I love when
She
you have a
was-
character who can kind of
She was
combat.
smart. She was like, let me put these nails in this board and have them step on them.
Oof. And boy, did they.
Yeah, it was cool though. I like it when they do fight back. But in Halloween, I remember like the Jamie Lee Curtis's daughter was like complaining. She was like, I can't believe you raised me like this, Mom. I get it that your friends died, but damn, get over it.
And little did she know she
It
would
helped her
need
out, bitch.
her fighting skills.
Did you know there's gonna be another one?
Did they not take care of the
It's called Halloween Kills
again?
for the
Has he
30th
not been
time.
killing? What was the other movies?
Yeah, who knows? But yeah, I give this movie a 1. I hated it. Boo.
Out of-
throw it away. 5.
Okay, out of
Or
11.
10. I'll give it a 0 at this point. It was awful. I hated it. I was laughing. I couldn't stand it. It was just trash.
Wow.
Boo. I wouldn't even waste your time with it. It was so terrible. I really just can't believe that I wasted money and time watching that stupid ass movie. Bro, I was so pissed. Anyways, your rating?
I'll give it a 3 out of 10.
A 3 out of 10. Got it.
Yeah, it was entertaining enough, I guess. And I was like, okay, I wasn't completely bored, but I think that this could have been a lot better and we could have gone a lot more places, because I actually did not think the acting was that bad. I mean, other than the bad guys being a little cheesy, I thought the little girl did a good job. I thought the main character, the old man, I thought he did really great. Like, had they given him a good story, he would have been like a really great character. And then the mom did a great job being creepy. I don't know. I was like, I don't think the acting is that horrible. It's just the material that I think they were given. But constructed right. I don't think the acting was bad, and it was entertaining enough. That's why I didn't give it a complete nothing, but
it was awful. But with that fog part that happened towards the end, like when Norman and the dad were fighting, it was just like foggy, and all you could see was the dad, and like Norman, you could just hear his footsteps. He's like running around. It was just, there's something about hearing those footsteps of like Sonic the Hedgehog running like full speed, and then you see that old ass man.
Oh, he was quick.
Bro, hearing those, I was cracking up. I couldn't, because those footsteps did not match what I could see.
No,
the old man over here. It's just so stupid, bro.
LOL.
But yeah, a 3 out of 10. Damn, that's kind of high.
That's like a 30%.
It's terrible. I gave it a -10.
Okay. I feel like when's the last movie we liked? We're so negative.
We liked the last Fear Street. We said that one was our best one.
Like it. We said it was the better of the 3, which is not necessarily on its own. We
liked a Quiet Place.
Yeah.
So we like movies.
I'm like, do we need to be a little more open? I just feel like I'm so negative.
This one is just terrible. There's no saving it. There's no saving grace with this one.
Oh my God.
It's all trash. Throw it away. Oh. They should have just stopped at the first one. I don't even know why the fuck they made it a sequel.
It was well, apparently they've been talking about making another one, like making the second one earlier and a few years ago, but they didn't do that. So they came out
they should have taken that as a damn sign. Don't do it.
Don't breathe. Don't make another movie.
Don't do it, because bitch, I can't stand it. Is that man gonna come back alive for a third one? Boy.
No, let it go. It's done.
Is it gonna follow Phoenix now? Who knows? Mm-hmm. Anyways, but if you like entertaining content that has nothing to do with breathing,
okay.
I guess that's where we're going with. Okay. You can follow us on Instagram at Hayley and Kayli. We also have a website at presspodcast.com. You should also listen to our podcast if you don't like our faces. And you can find that on Apple or on Spotify. And what else do we have?
We have a wonderful YouTube channel, but if you're watching us, you can already probably figure out where you're at. So you can check us out at Hayley and Kayli. If you want to let us know your thoughts about this movie, questions, comments, concerns, or any movies that you think we should review, you can email us at presspodcast@gmail.com. Mm-hmm. We also have a very, very fun, entertaining TikTok at Hayley and Kayli. We're going to try to upload more, but you can see just little snippets here and there.
Yes. So. And next time, we're going to be talking about Candyman.
Yes, we are. I'm excited for that one. I'm so excited.
I just recently rewatched the original one.
I've never seen the original one. I need to see that one.
It's interesting. I wonder how they're gonna jazz it up for this remake. Like, how much of a difference is there gonna be? We'll see.
We're gonna see. But
well, until next time, stay pressed.
And what's on the menu for today?
Today, we got a little stinker of a movie. We got Don't Breathe 2.
Is it because it stinks you don't breathe?
Ooh, that was a good one.
Thanks. I'm here all my life.